Unfortunately for him, Inca went the complete other way and played extremely aggressive. I just love the way he got that pylon warping in units into the main and completely was thrown off because he had the double bunkers down there, topped it on his natural, and there was nothing he could do. And we are going to go straight into the second game, which is going to be on Xel'Naga Caverns.
Now, one thing to note, a lot of people have always had the concern that it's, you know, StarCraft 2 is degenerating into a macro fest, that its players just building up the armies that they want, and so on and so forth. But we really got the chance to see Inca pull some amazing tactical brilliance there, warping in the units to the high ground, definitely showing us that not only does he have those long-term mechanics, but also is extremely, extremely versed in this sort of cool little creative play.
All right, well, actually, I think if he'd gone for Stim instead of combat shields, I think that would have made a world of difference. Going for Stim would have allowed him to use it, obviously, and could have just taken down the Void Rays a lot quicker, but unfortunately, he did go for the combat shield, which is more of a kind of a defensive, especially with going for all this, the early command center with the bunkers, you kind of get the combat shield to help. Are you promoting me as host?
Yeah, you are the host right now, so you have the total power. Wait, we're going to have to remove that random stranger that joined the game. We'll be going directly into Game 2 now on Xel'Naga Caverns. So, of course, if you would like Inca to close the series out, give a cheer for Inca.
And give a cheer for oGsTOP.
Now, I do think that if Top did get the chance to stabilize a little bit, he would have been in a much better position, but now he is playing from down 0-1. Only one of these players can advance to tomorrow's round, so we have Top spawning in the bottom left as the blue Terran. In the top right, we have Inca as the red Protoss.
I wonder what Inca's going to do this game, whether he's going to go for very aggressive I probably doubt he'll go for another Stargate build. It might even swing that way that he'll go for a very passive fast expansion play just to change his build up, especially how we were talking about how in a best of 3 it's just completely different to playing just one game in the group stages, because there's a lot more mental games, you know, back and forth between each other, and that's definitely going to play a factor in this series.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you're a Top in this situation, or excuse me, if you're Inca in a best of 3, why not do some sort of goofy Void Ray Warp and Zealot to the high ground move? If it fails, you still have 2 more games, and your opponent is constantly panicked in the remaining games trying to scout for a Stargate. And if it wins, like it did, you know that your opponent is still going to be freaked out and have that additional pressure of being down 0-1.
And we are going to see the barracks being put down. Gateway also, and here comes the scout again after the gateway. Moving down, but I think the best play for him to do, like I was saying, is probably the fast expand build. We'll have to see. A lot of players do like to go for the 2 gateway into Robo and then expand after that. Obviously, again, the Robo is so important, especially because Banshees are being used so much recently. And without the Robo bait, you're in a world of trouble. You can't even scout the Terran player without one. And obviously, any forward Marauder plays, you need the Immortal from that to help deal with that also.
So it looks like both players finally scouting out the opponent. There now is the probe getting up into the main of Terran. Not going to do any harassment early with the probe. Just wants to check out exactly what's up. Looks like the orbital command is coming up. Marine en route. Again, it's very useful to be able to get a look at that second supply depot. Ordinarily, if you see it thrown down at that time, no fast 2 barracks play. So that does cut down a good amount of aggressive openings from Top.
And the second gas has been put down once again for Inca. Top does come in and sees this. Is he going to go for the tech lab though this time? I don't think he is. It looks like he may be going for a factory play.
Would not surprise me either way. Top very well versed with a variety of styles, but he does tend to always end up with big Marine Marauder mixes in the mid game. And there, as you were saying, is the factory going down in the main. Meanwhile, it looks like Inca has not yet elected to do anything, just going to be making Zealot and then a Sentry. This is the exact same way we saw him open when he did go Void Rays in the group stages.
It's going to be interesting to see what he does go after, well, when he finally gets this SCV out. The SCV does leave now. We'll have to see how he plays this out. Tech Lab has been made on the barracks, and a Marauder once again is coming out. We'll have to see what he does with this factory, whether, well, I doubt he can go for a starport. It doesn't have enough gas after getting the Tech Lab and then the Marauder as well, so it'll probably be sticking to just the factory.
You know, I really don't mind at all the very, actually one of the earliest openings that people started to do in this game was to just do Hellion Marauder pushes at the start while you teched up to starport. It looks, though, as though we're not going to see that at all from oGsTOP. How disappointing, because the Hellion is such a great unit. And wow, look at this. Inca instead just going for a standard 4 Warp Gate opening. This is actually not something we see very frequently in this matchup.
No, I haven't seen it in a long time. Obviously, it used to be the standard, but here is the pylon being put down here, and he's going to be able to warp in all his units onto the gold, and I'm not sure if Top is going to scout this. He's looking down the bottom for any hidden pylons. Will he be able to see this, though? Because it's slightly out of range. Even if he does go around by the gold, he won't be able to see it, but he does see the pylon, see the probe be moved in and taken out.
And this is such good placement, being able to warp in on the high ground and still keep this pylon as protected as possible. And oh,
he does see it.
Oh, he did end up seeing it. Oh no, look at your mini-map. Look at your mini-map. Oh no, it looks like he is actually just pulling back. I can't tell if he's preparing to deal with some sort of 4 warp gate push. Oh yes, it looks like that's what he's doing. Couldn't tell if it was that or that he just forgot.
Yeah, so unfortunately for Inca, he actually warps in 4 Zealots first. I'm not sure if Top could see that. I wasn't looking at the view at that time, but he did get 4 Zealots in going around the back, and units are being thrown down, and another probe has been moved out from the mineral line. Is going to be looking to put a forward pylon so we can continue with this 4 gate pressure.
And there's the bunker now finishing at Top's entrance. He will be throwing some units into that momentarily, but I mean, with this Cloaked Banshee coming up, unless somehow Inca gets detection soon, there is no way he is going to be able to win this game. There's a very nice force field, just denying any sort of scouting. Didn't want to let a single hint as to what was going on in the base. And in the meantime, the probe is gearing up to take an expansion, but again, with that half-finished cloak upgrade.
Yeah, this is actually such a great response by Top, knowing that seeing that pylon just told him what was going on. Why would you put a pylon there if you're not going to go for warp gates? So he knows that this is a warp gate build coming out, and he goes, all right, well, I'm just going to get a Banshee with cloak because you don't have a Robo Bay for an observer. So he's going to go into the main, and all he has to do really is just do a ton of damage and defend his front. That's why there are 2 bunkers out now. He will have a second Banshee en route, and here we go. The Banshee is in there, and it will have cloak pretty soon, and this is a lot of trouble for Inca.
Already, look at that queue up, creating a nice little spring circuit there, just picking those off one at a time. There's the chrono boost on all the gateways, trying to take them, trying to get the warp in as fast as possible, and there's the cloak. At this point, Inca knows he has to go all in. It looks like it might be another very fast game, and there are a bunch of units moving in for Protoss, walling off the bunker, so it cannot be repaired. But with the 2 bunkers and all the SCVs on the left side, it's going to be very difficult to be able to get picked off. And look at this, almost no probes left in the main of Inca.
Yeah, and this is pretty much GG. Top now, he's got 1 Banshee killing all the units here at the front as well. He can't really repair the bunker anymore, but I don't think that matters too much, as all these units are going to go down. All the probes are being forced to move around here, as you can see, but this is looking pretty good for Top to pull this back.
Looks like 2 very fast games in a row will end up bringing the series tied to 1-1. There's really not that much that oGsInCa can do about this, but he's just not going to give up quite yet. First, he's going to try to get this observer out, try to use that detection, but already this single Banshee has 22 probe kills.
And it's going to get a couple more before it dies as well. Here is he going to get another? Yes, he does manage to get that. So 24 altogether. And we look at the unit counting station now, 24 SCVs compared to the 11 probes.
And at this point, oGsTOP is going to transition into the usual Marine Marauder mix. Inca really not quite set on the best response at this point in time, but without any sort of concussive shell, actually without any of the upgrades for barracks units, we are going to see Terran being passive for a little bit longer.
Yeah, he is researching Stim now. 1 Banshee is going to run out of cloak, though. He has to be careful not to lose this Banshee here. It is a little bit faster than the Stalker, so should be able to get away.
Does look like he's going to try to cut up north, and oh, it does manage to get taken out. That is a nice play by Inca, but again, there's another Banshee in the main, so it doesn't even really matter. Inca trying to do the runaround yet again with the probes, just does not want to give up, but still, this is just such an uphill battle.
Yeah, this is so painful, especially because he's been forced not to mine. He just hasn't got enough gas to get a second observer. Therefore, this Banshee could come in for free and get 7 more kills on the probe line. Not only is he just killing probes, he's forcing the probes from not mining at all, and he just calls
there's
GG.
the good game. And you know, that honestly is a little bit worse of a loss than just a usual 1 Banshee gets in with cloak. You know, you don't have the observer, you end up leaving. The way that sort of loss feels is that you were trying really hard for an extended period of time to hang in there and just couldn't make anything happen. And that can be very draining when going into a final game on Metalopolis.
Yeah, like you said, it is going to be on Metalopolis. Quite a nice map for this matchup.